So what is work-life balance? Someone said it's about working to live and not living to work. Also, Anne-Marie Slaughter, in her book, because what I gave you was the article, in her book, she mentioned the difference between the American culture and the European culture. I have lived in Spain for 4 years, and I really saw the big difference because July and August is actually vacation months. And then weekends, Friday evening, in the city, the streets are like a ghost town. That was like 30 years before the COVID lockdown. Barcelona could be like a ghost town on a Friday night because everybody's out already vacationing Friday evening. So that is a big difference when you have grown up in such a workaholic environment. No, that there's a lot of work ethic, is work. No, so people have started realizing that you have to work in order to live, not to live in order to work 24/7 like a McDonald's or a Jollibee. 24/7, you hardly disconnect yourself from your phone. Like you go on vacation, but you bring the laptop to the beach. Before you sleep, you check whether you have incoming mails. So somehow you are living for the sake of working, connecting with the people. So whereas there's a different kind of culture that is not simply national, it's also an individual trait that we have to learn to live, to practice, that we really disconnect. No? So we work so that we can have a life. No? For example, we work so that we can support our family, but not simply supporting them materially, but spending time with them. I remember, I hope that this will be a right example. I was giving a class to supervisors and managers. I was giving a management class, and one of them raised a question. She was an accountant, and she said, "You know, what can I do with my boss? He's always out playing golf." So you can imagine that the boss is playing golf in order to network, to bring in more clients. But somehow this accountant has been like working, feeling self-pity that she's always in the office until 12 o'clock, till midnight. She's working, she's not playing golf, she's not. So I just said, okay, I think you have to see that the reason why your boss is playing golf, and you can actually see it in the figures if some sales or revenues are coming in, and therefore, no, that playing golf is already worthwhile, no? So I think that for that accountant, I had to explain a little bit more in my lecture to her before in that class. No, what is it to work to live? And another example that comes to mind is in the same class, in the same program, one of these young girls told me, how can I live how can I live a balanced life? I'm given a phone by my company and it has to be on 24/7. Type yes in the group chat in Zoom if you don't have those expectations. Okay, so what did I say to this girl? I said, it's a choice. It's a choice always. You can say, I'm okay with my phone, sir. Even if it's old, it can still be useful from 8 to 5. Meaning, nagpaparinig ka na, no? Meaning that even if you have an old phone, still it gives you a life because somehow it shuts down at 5 o'clock so that you can actually turn towards your other hobbies, your other life. So I hope you get that. Actually, what I gave her as an example is, what if you go to Quiapo and just buy these cheap phones that somehow, pag ang boss mo nang tumatawag, drop call na, hello? I can't hear you. So, somehow it's like, I'm just driving home the point that it's really your choice. Really your choice. Of course, you can give me a comment there. You can say sometimes it's not a choice. But within the constraint that we have, there's always a choice. There's always a room for a choice. For example, 24/7. Can you imagine that you're giving your 24 hours, 7 days a week to your work? Can you imagine that your colleagues, do you think when you die, they will visit you every November 1? They will visit you in your grave in the cemetery? I don't think so. So knowing that, you have to come up with some steps so that you give time to the people who will visit you, who will visit your grave, who will pray for you always, and that is your family. So here, this is another example. Work-life balance is not being a slave to one's job. No, because the job can be really overwhelming. No, it seems that, sometimes, and I hope that it will not worsen these days, because the companies might be feeling the pinch of a recession or depression, that the work of 5 people, they will give to one person only. Sometimes when I mentor a lady who is with so much work, I say, what if you list down everything and then you explain to the HR? It seems to me that this work cannot be finished in 24 hours, 7 days. So that means this work cannot be done by one person alone. Okay? So I think this respondent's comment is actually a huge reality, even here in the local setting. I know of a company that will really deduct from your salary when you're late, but will never pay you overtime. I don't know if you find some justice with that. You are not even a manager. You don't even have a little bit of free time, but they give you they reduce from your salary when you arrive late, and they don't pay you overtime. No? So some things have to be changed. Yes, you are correct, Myra. The choice is really say no. You have to say no. Sometimes the Filipinos, we want to save face. We don't want to say no. But then again, if you are getting stressed and then you're lacking sleep, then you might go into depression. So please be careful with always saying yes. Okay?